Sturgis Place Apartments versus William DeWitt. File number is 26140LT. Mr. DeWitt, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Judge, Attorney Buckland, Legal Aid of West Michigan will be filing an appearance on behalf of Mr. DeWitt.
All right. Mr. DeWitt, they want you to move. They allege serious lease violations, including use of marijuana on the premises. What's your name, ma'am?
Esther Smedzik.
Okay. Which case are you here on?
I'm here for Capital One.
All right. You're in the right place at the right time. We had some of these previously, some marijuana cases, and there's a difference between federal law and state law, and I had ruled that federal law controls. Anyway, Mr. DeWitt, they want you to move out. Ms. Bauer is going to represent you. Ms. Bauer, what's the defendant's position?
The defendant's position is pretty straightforward. The allegations are not very specific, so he can only deny them to the extent that they are specific, but he denies any use of marijuana or possession of marijuana on the premises. And it's just a simple factual matter with the exception of the specifics, or lack of specifics in the notice. It's the plaintiff's burden to prove their case. And hopefully Attorney Buckland and I can have a conversation about this. I was hoping to call him on my way down here, but had some other things to address. So I'm hopeful we can have a conversation about this, but it comes down to a simple matter of factual allegation and witnesses.
All right. Mr. DeWitt and Mr. Buckland.
Yes.
The whole marijuana legalization picture is somewhat unclear, primarily because it was approved by a referendum rather than by the legislature. There are a lot of issues and unclear things under the law. There's a case called People versus Hess, which is a court of appeals case, which has to do with the court's ability to impose marijuana restrictions on probationers. That's been taken up by the Supreme Court. And possibly yet this year, we may get a decision from the Supreme Court regarding that issue. You are in a federally subsidized apartment complex under a lease. Federal law prohibits the use of marijuana. If you lived in your own house or you had another traditional rental with a landlord, unless the lease prohibited, it's legal to use recreational marijuana or even medical marijuana. However, this law says you can't. It's a federal law, and I've done research and made a ruling that federal law is presumptive and controls. So they contend that you're using marijuana on their property and they want you to move. Your lawyer says, prove it. In fact, there's a clear controlled substance policy in your lease. So they contend that you're smoking marijuana in your unit. You can smell it if you walk in. You can tell whether people have been smoking weed in there or not. I can tell in the courtroom when they walk in. But at this point, we have to set this for further hearing. And Mr. Buckland and Ms. Bauer will discuss this. I've got some scheduling problems, Mr. Buckland, and I would ask if we could bump this to Monday, March 2nd. Does that work for you, Ms. Bauer?
I'm checking that right now, Judge.
What time are you thinking, Judge?
Say that again.
What time are you thinking on Monday?
About 2:15.
That does work on my end.
Yeah, I can make that work.
All right. Mr. DeWitt, if you are in fact using marijuana there, I suggest that you stop. You can smoke it in other places, but you can't smoke it at Maple Towers pursuant to the lease. They're gonna discuss this and see whether we need to have a trial regarding this or something can be worked out. But I'm gonna kick the can all the way out to March 2nd because I'm gonna be gone for a little bit and we have a court holiday in there. So Ms. Bauer will meet with you before you leave, so stick around. She's got some obligations with me, although Meg, I'm about to segue into general civil for a half an hour or more. So I will put Mr. DeWitt in the waiting room and then you can consult with him.
2 p.m. flat.
2:15 on March 2nd. All right, they did forward that email. It came in on a day that Elaine was out. So I think it's been picked up on. All right. You've got time to talk to him. I'm gonna be a bit with these civil cases.
Would you like me to hand my appearance?
Yes,
to
please.
You or the clerks?
Give it to me and I'll make sure it's part of the file. Mr. Buckland, you're good to go. I'll see you in March.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Wortman, this is a claim for money damages after possession. And frankly, I can't make head nor tail out of your pleadings here. I have a bunch of pictures, but I believe you're asking for $2,966.72 worth of damages.
No, there was a second page also. Came out to 25,400 something, but I know, it
Well,
only goes to like 25,000 for this court.
yes, you have 24,966 plus damages or plus costs, fees and postage, 481.81. So you're asking for 2,544, 2,444.8053. Is that
There's
correct?
2 pages that are added together. There was 1 page and then that total was carried over to the second page.
Well, it might make sense to you, but I can't make head or tail out of it. But it appears
The
that
clerk, I don't know, did put an arrow towards something.
yes. But I've got this like 11,115, 11,329, 11,356. These numbers just keep adding up and I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah,
Broken taillight, flat tire, labor. This stuff doesn't go to tenancy of the house. Tax, gas, tires, Glen Oaks, bike endorsement. This doesn't have anything to do with a landlord-tenant case.
these were things that I had given him money for while he was there.
Well, that's not a money damage in a,
But the broken window, I mean, he
Well,
broke
so-
the window on the house. He-
all right, well, so
he-
some of it is, but you
Yeah.
just threw everything in a big lump and asked for $25,444. I can't make head nor tail out of it. Insurance, mileage, license plates, transfers. He's responsible under a tenancy for rent. Also, we got a call from someone that says he's in the hospital. Are you aware of that?
No,
That lady was supposed to zoom in. Let's see, maybe this is them. No, that's Randy Murphy. I'm not sure who this is.
How you doing today, Judge?
Good. What's your name, sir? It's not
My
Zoom
name is
user.
McKelty Moore
Okay,
and
met.
Alicia Donnelly. I just want to let you know, Your Honor, she's in the hospital right now.
All right, well, we got a lot of it this morning. 3 of them, so don't go away.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know why Alicia Snonnelly won't be here right now.
All right,
And it's because she got admitted into the hospital. She's going through emergency surgery right now.
okay, that's the 3rd case this morning. Ms. Zagore, good morning. I say Zagorius, and I know that's not right. Anyway, Ms. Wortman, you've got this pleading here, and I don't understand it. This was a landlord-tenant case, and you filed a summons to terminate his tenancy. Can't see the, in August. He was evicted. Had to actually get a writ of eviction to get him out. And that was in October. Then you filed this complaint for supplemental damages. In January. And I'm not, A, I can't understand it. And B, you're asking for things that I don't think you're entitled to ask for as part of a termination of tenancy. You were here on September. He is not here, do not know where he is. He has property there, 4 motorcycles and a Jeep and clothing. He lived there for a year. He has left all of his stuff there. So she has to let him get his stuff out of there. And then he shows up late and we go through all this. So anyway, you filed all this stuff, but I would put you under oath and take testimony about what is all this. You can only sue for up to $25,000. Your claim is just under that. If it's more than that, it has to go to circuit court. So we need a hearing where he's here. I don't understand this thing just started. Well, for one thing, they got page 2 and had a page 1. $1,200 receipt, $5,000 Silverado, put in a transmission, Glen Oaks bike endorsement, tires, Amazon auction, coffee, groceries. You can't sue for that as part of a termination of tenancy case. If you have costs about removing his property from your property, you can.
He had no transportation. I paid for the truck.
All right. That's a general civil case. You can sue him for money damages. You can sue him for up to $1 million. You can sue for up to $25,000 in this court, but you can't do it as part of a landlord-tenant case. That has to do with the damages that go to landlord-tenant. You can sue him in small claims court without a lawyer for up to $7,000. But if you're going to sue for $25,000, you're in the general civil court. So you can sue them for all this stuff. You just can't do it as part of a termination of tenancy case. You should either refile this as a small claims case where you can sue for up to $7,000 without a lawyer, or you can sue them for as much as you want in a general civil case. But if it's more than $25,000, it has to go to circuit court. I'm gonna dismiss this. Court lacks jurisdiction for these damages under landlord-tenant law.
Could I get my material back so I can take it to circuit court?
Yes.
Okay,
Be careful what you ask for. My advice, if you're gonna sue him, you sue him in small claims court. You're not gonna get $25,000 or $50,000 out of him. If you file this in circuit court, you gotta comply with all the court rules, the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure. You gotta file a proper summons, you gotta file a complaint that shows what these damages are. You don't just throw some spaghetti on the wall, hope it'll stick. But you can do it if you want to.
yeah,
And then you can sue in district court for up to $25,000. The rules are much more relaxed in small claims court. Defendant advised to refile as a general civil complaint in circuit court or district court. Court recommends small claims court. But this supplemental damage complaint in a landlord-tenant proceeding is dismissed. I'll do an order. All right. Yes, if you want this stuff back, I think we scanned it in. They can give you your copies back. You go out to the clerk. All right, you're not dead in the water, but you can't do it this way. All right, you go up to the counter and give us some of your stuff back. Mr. Moore advised us that it's Moorer. I spelled your name wrong. M-O-R-E-R. Then Miss Snetterly's in the hospital. This is the third person this morning I had in the hospital, but he's here. I have a judgment that's been provided. It shows that damages are 0. Other costs are $299.76. I'm not sure what that is. And court costs of $277.57 for a total of $577.33. Is that your contention, Mr. Berland?
That is correct, Your Honor. And the other money due consists of $75 of pet fees
Yes.
and then utilities making up the remainder of that sum.
Mr. Moore, it appears you got the rent paid through February, and these ancillary costs are left over. Some utilities of $224.36 and a pet fee, $224.76 and a pet fee, and then the cost of filing the lawsuit, the service fee, the filing fee, and the attorney fee. So you don't owe any rent, but you do owe these other costs. What's your position regarding that?
I am right now with my girlfriend being in the hospital. Like I can't go do what I was supposed to be doing. I was doing a side job for a friend of mine, needed some car work done, and I'm just been trying to
Well,
finish
you
that up.
got 10 days to pay this,
Okay,
and even more if they give it to you. So,
but I am working on getting that paid myself. And I know neighborhoods and Constantine, or I want to say Constantine, down not too far from me. She was supposed to be calling me back this afternoon about payment.
All right, we'll share this with them. The rent is zero. But you owe a pet fee and a utility fee and court costs, so the total is $577.33. That is due within 10 days from today, which would be 2/23/26. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. Acceptance, no money judgment is entered here. And if we get into March or an additional rent, there could be other damage due. I mentioned that this is a pretty expensive property that you got, but you caught your rent up. There's just some ancillary costs, and the fact that your girlfriend's in emergency hospital doesn't help things too much. So I'm gonna let you go deal with her. What hospital is she in?
Three Rivers.
All right, you go deal with that. We'll send you this in the
And she's supposed to
mail.
be getting transferred into Kalamazoo here soon.
Okay, stay in contact with your manager and the Varnum Law Firm in Kalamazoo. This isn't insurmountable. My concern is not about this. My concern is about March's rent. It's gonna be due on March 1st.
It
And
will
it's
be fully
big.
paid.
All right, well, I'll issue this order. You go deal with your more serious matters and we'll send you this. The total is $577.33 due by February 23rd. And even then, they don't have to evict you on February 23rd. They have for it. So stay in contact with your manager and contact that law firm if you need to speak to them. You go deal with your other problems that are more serious than this.
Do you have a number for me to call them?
It's right on the pleadings that you're gonna get. 269-553-3519.
26955.
553-3519.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, hopefully he will get a hold of you and he's not too far underwater here, but that is an expensive house.
Yeah.
All right.
I-
Good to go.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank-
All right, he needs to go deal with her.
Sorry, Your
All
Honor,
right,
you
you're
said
good to go.
by February when?
February 23rd.
All right then, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, we'll stop the line. Is Mr. Wood going to be here?
No, that's why I was calling. He is currently in the hospital. And he will not, be out. And I was not able to, get to him today.
Are you related to him?
No. His son is living with me right now, while he's trying to clear this matter up. So I had brought
Well,
him
Miss
to the last
Murphy
court
is
hearing.
here. Miss Murphy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Mr. Wood contends that you're living in his garage with Teddy Maines and he wants you to move out. What's your contention?
Well, I was living in the house. I've been here for 6 years. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yes,
I'm sorry.
I can hear you.
I'm sorry, I had another call come in. I've been here for 6 years. Delmer Wood is my sister Nicole. She passed away. It's her dad. He brought me in 6 years ago. And since then I've helped Delmer with bills. I've cleaned up and
Well, he wants you
not-
to move out. You don't
I
have a
know,
lease,
and
but he's
Right.
not here. He's in the hospital, so I'm
Right.
gonna have to continue
Right.
this. Do you and Mr. Maines, are you living in the garage?
well, we talked with Delmer, and there was a whole group meeting that we had, and he told me that it was okay for me to file my tax, get my taxes filed, and then move out. And then I would take my taxes and find a place to live. And we were all in agreement with it. There was like 6 of us. And Domer, he's in early stages of dementia or late stages. I'm not sure. He's very forgetful. He then went and did, I've been here for 6 years, and I, in 1 week, got a notice that I had to move. And I've helped pay the bills. I just paid on the electric bill, the $500 bill. I just paid most of my paycheck on that to get it
Well,
settled
all
so
right,
that he
you
didn't get
can't live
shut
in
off.
his garage. And
Well, I
I've known
understand that.
him for a long time, and he is having some cognitive issues, but
Yeah,
he's not
I
here.
love Domer. Yeah, I know.
So
I love
I'm
him. He's
gonna
nothing, he's
continue
nothing else to
this.
do. Okay. Yeah, I think Domer's gonna have surgery on his heart.
I'm gonna continue this to Monday, March 2nd at 2:30.
Okay.
Now, what he's asking you to do is move.
Right.
And
And
you have
I
certain
wanna
rights
move.
as a tenant. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot pay for one, the court must give you the information regarding the attorney, which we gave you legal aid's contact information. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee, unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay. You may be able to reach an agreement with Mr. Wood by going through mediation or seeking a conditional order of dismissal, but he isn't here. You can't live in his garage, even if he allows you to do it. The city won't let you do it. And
Yeah, I know that.
so we're gonna have to discuss that. Miss Murphy, my suggestion is that you should be looking for another place to move. So I'm gonna
Oh, I
bump this
definitely
all
have
the
one.
way out to March 2nd, which is almost 20 days. And then you get an additional 10 days after that to move, which would be March 12th. But I can't proceed without Mr. Wood, and I'm not gonna dismiss it if he's in the hospital. So we'll address this further on Monday, March 2nd at 2026. Miss Ann, were you aware of any discussion between Mr. Wood about this stuff that she's talking about?
I do know that she told him that she was waiting for her taxes and that she was gonna move out then. I don't know if she's filed or anything like that. I do know that he's trying to get his son to come home, and his son is currently living with me until he's able to go home. So this is a condition of his son's parole, is that nobody's there. So
So he
this is
needs to
But
something
get
there's
that,
Randy
100 people there.
out, so it's
so this
something.
is,
There's
Yeah.
100.
yes, this is
That's 100
100%
people
being
living there.
pursued. So.
Yes. And I'm not in disagreement with it. I don't want to be here any more than anybody, but I don't have the money due to the fact I've been helping with the bills. And I did file my taxes, and I am waiting. They said the 17th, maybe.
All right,
I could
well, we're
start
gonna
looking into the-
continue this to March 2nd at 2:30.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
in my
Ms.
defense,
Murphy,
I'm
you're
not the
good to
one
go.
living here.
Ms. Ann, thank you for helping us.
No, not a problem. Thank
There's
you.
100. There are 100 people living here.
100 people living there, sounds unpleasant. Mr. and Mrs. Martin, you are tenants in a landlord-tenant proceeding, and your landlord is asking you to pay your rent. This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. As such, you have certain rights. You have the right to hire a lawyer. If you can't afford an attorney, you could see if legal aid could represent you or seek other legal representation. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or file the written demand within 5 days and pay the fee for the jury demand, which is $50, unless the judge waives the fee for your inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Community Action Agency, Neighborhood Inc., or if you're a veteran, possible veterans benefits. We sent that information to you with the summons. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord outside of court, which could result in the filing of what's called a conditional order of dismissal. Or if both parties are interested, I could refer the matter to mediation. Attorney Christine Yancey is here on behalf of the plaintiffs. The title of this case is Fenrick 3 LLC versus Antonio and Anna Martin. This is a property at 615 Lakeview that Fenrick just bought recently. Let me make my notes here. Usually our legal aid representative is here to join us. I'm not sure whether she's available today. Your landlord contends that your rent through February, with January and February's late fee, is $930. Plus an $80 electric bill, plus $217.45 of court costs. And they claim that through February, your rent arrearage is $1,227.25.
No.
That's, they contend. What's your position?
We paid January's rent. It was $850, and we didn't pay the late fee because we didn't know there was a late fee yet. And then we haven't paid February's yet because she told us she still was taking us to court and evicting us after we paid the January's rent. So we didn't know what to do after that.
Well,
Your Honor, this is just a non-payment of rent. This isn't
Yes.
a termination of tenancy.
Yes. Well, what you need to do is pay your rent.
We did pay.
You got a $40 late fee. It's in the lease. But the law says I have to adjourn this at least 7 days. And we've got some wrinkles here because I'm not going to be here next Friday.
Also, we did go to Neighborhoods Inc. too and try to get help with February's rent, and they told us that their price range is out of the does not meet the thing. I got a paper right here from the lady Carol McNary that says does not meet fair market rate.
And DHS won't help us either.
DHS won't help us either.
Well, that's DHS. The rent is $850. We've got a lot worse than that.
Well, it used to be $650, and then when she took it over, she bumped it up to $850. So that's where the problem was. I was laid off, and she was currently out working at the time. Now she's working, and we're trying to dig ourselves out of the hole. But I mean, we paid the rent.
Well, let's see if we can figure something out. Today is the 13th.
We're 13 days late on rent. That's it. And we don't owe her an electric bill. We have.
Yeah, we don't even owe an electric bill. We pay our electric bill through our thing. It's on our name, so I don't know how we'd order an electric bill.
Well, we'll have to figure that out.
Electric bills aren't even $60 a month here. They're like $48.
Well, we paid it though, so why is she even bring it up? It's our name. It's our bill.
I don't know. I need a pen to do some math though.
Christine, you're set to be here Friday, February 27th at 9:10. I'm going to continue this.
No, if we pay our rent, is this going to go away? Yeah. She keeps saying she's evicting us anyways because she's childish.
Well, she can't. You said pay the rent.
All right. Well, you're muttering a bunch of stuff, but I can't hear you. What do you want to tell me?
I'm just saying that if we pay the rent, then we're fine. We're okay though, because she told us she was still taking us to court after we paid January's rent, so we didn't understand to keep paying rent.
because February was still due. We already had it filed.
It wasn't due though yet. When we paid the rent, it wasn't due. We paid in January. So how would February still be due?
Because it's February.
But we paid it in January, though. We didn't just pay the rent today.
She got a court, and she got us for eviction, and we had already paid.
You'd already paid the rent when she gave us the court date.
She applied January's payment to January.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we still in court in February for non-payment of rent in January?
Yeah. Why are we in court for non-payment for January when we paid January's rent?
She just told you guys we didn't, so she get a court date.
All right. she filed this action on January 12th.
On January 12th, and we paid the rent, so that doesn't make any sense.
Well, what day did you pay the rent?
January 5th or 6th, something like that.
I don't know. I'd have to.
I'd have to look at the paper, find the paper, dig it out.
It was the same day she filed the court paperwork, but I called her several
We
times.
called her and
Well,
told her
January
we told her
4th.
when we paid it, and told her she was still proceeding with court. She's still moving
Well,
forward.
Your Honor,
with
I would
eviction.
ask them if they could provide me with that information. I will review it with the manager and we will just be back on the 27th.
Yep, we'll go have it.
I'll get a
All right.
screenshot of it and send her
All
the-
right, now, they sent you the thing on January 4th.
She really served that to us. on the
And
3rd.
your claim is, so they served this demand for possession on you on January
January 3rd,
4th.
actually. It was
So-
January 3rd.
Well, it says January 4th.
Yeah,
In the
she just said
meantime,
that.
Only the 3rd.
It's kind
All
of
right, if
hard
you
when they're
interrupt
both
me again-
talking.
yes, if you interrupt me again, I'm gonna mute your microphone, so be quiet for a minute. Your January rent was late, so you have a $40 late fee. They had to hire a lawyer to start this matter, which cost $217.25. So even if you paid January's rent on the 5th or 6th or whatever day you paid it, there was an unpaid late fee and $217 worth of unpaid costs. Then you didn't pay February's rent. It's now February 13th, and it doesn't appear that February's rent has been paid yet. So you owe $1,227. If you pay that, then you get to stay there. If you don't pay that, we'll have to discuss it further. So yes, you contend that you paid your rent on a certain date. Well, it wasn't January 1st, so there's a late fee. And they had to hire a lawyer to start all this, and they don't just eat it. It goes on you. So they contend that these costs are from January, the late fee and the court costs, and then you haven't paid February's rent. There's an issue about this electric bill, which we'll try to sort out. But the law says I have to adjourn it at least 7 days. I'm going to adjourn this 2 weeks to Friday, the 27th of February at 9:11. I have a case at 9:10, which won't take 1 minute, but it will. We're going to be very busy on the 27th, Christine. I'm not sure how we're going to do all this. But I have the afternoon, but I have a trial that's set in there that I think is going to settle, but I don't know for sure. So Antonio and Anna, find your receipt of when you paid that. Figure out whether you have an unpaid electric bill. And I'm going to tell you on February 27th how much you owe. I will give you 10 days from that day to pay it or move out, which would be this March 7th. Then you would also owe March's rent. So I don't know. This is income tax refund time. Sometimes people are getting tax refund, and that helps them get caught up. Do you have a refund coming?
We have a way to take care of the money. I mean, we were trying to get help with a little bit of it, but I think we figured that out. We just wanted to know if we paid it, were we going to be able to stay? We weren't sure because she told us she was still proceeding on after we paid January.
No, this is not a termination of tenancy. It's a payment of rent. So if you pay your rent, you get to stay. If you pay it before February 27th, you don't even need to show up.
Okay.
The amount due is $1,227.25. All right, we'll take another look at this in 2 weeks at 9:10 in the morning.
Thank you, Your
All right,
Honor.
I'll see. Thank you. All right. All right, Mr. Martin, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Mr. Agnes, are you done ordering a pizza?
I was trying, but they don't deliver this early in the morning.
Let's see who we got here. I've got Motorola G. Who am I speaking with? Could you? My California friends contend I can unmute the microphones at my end, but it doesn't work. What's your name, ma'am? Your microphone is on mute. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. Yes, what's your name?
Rebecca Rudisil.
All right. All right, we'll change that. We'll bring on our next customer, John Paker. Good morning. You've logged in as John Paker. Who am I speaking with? I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna dink around with it right now. John Paker, could you unmute your microphone? I don't know who you are. All right, we'll take up our next matter. It's titled Learn Investments, and Monty and Vicky Learn are here by Zoom. Their attorney, Andrew Rognus, is here. The tenant, Rebecca Rudisil, is also present. This is one of the apartments at 1200 North Elm Street. And this is filed as a non-payment of rent case. Ms. Rudisil, you weren't here just a minute ago when I went through the advice of rights with the last client. So let me tell you this. I apologize. I have a cold and I'm a bit stuffy. As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to hire a lawyer. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. Or you could seek other legal advice. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If you wish to demand a jury trial, you must tell me at this first appearance and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee, or file the demand in writing within 5 days and pay the fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it. You have a right to have your case heard here in St. Joseph County, where the property is located. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get financial assistance, and you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord through mediation, and there could be a conditional order of dismissal. Those rights don't exactly fit these facts. The Learns got a judgment against you back in October, where you were supposed to pay $5,800 or move by October 30th. You didn't move. They have 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction, and then 56 days to serve it. So those dates have passed. So Mr. Rognus has asked for permission to ask for a writ of eviction beyond 56 days. This sometimes goes under the category of no good deed goes unpunished. I've given you a time to move by October of last year, and you haven't moved. Mr. Rognus, what's the status here?
Your Honor, in this particular circumstance, Ms. Rudisil did make a $750 payment in December. The Learns keep getting told by the agency that the check's just a matter of days away from coming in, but it's been like 3 weeks since that's taken place. What I would request, Your Honor, is issue the writ, but mail it to our office. Don't give it to Bruce. And then hopefully something transpires with the agency in the interim and we don't have to utilize it. But if we do, we've got it sitting here and I can just call Bruce to come pick it up if he needs to.
Well, what's the current arrearage?
Oh, boy, you would ask me that. I got a math.
Mrs. Learn, do you know what the current arrearage is?
Well, the agency is supposed to pay 4,500. And we have February rent right now of 750, which brings it to 5,250. And we had been working with Rebecca with regards to January,
What is the agency?
neighborhood agency.
Rebecca, are you working with Miss McNary at Neighborhood Inc.?
Carolyn, yeah.
It's all right.
And
Well,
she told me that. She told me 45 was going to be paid, 4,500, and the check should be there. And I went and talked to her last week and checked again, and she said it should be in the mail. So I don't know.
well, as I told you earlier, the only thing that cures this is paying the entire amount. I will allow the writ of eviction to enter.
Right.
10 days from today, which would be February 23rd. So as of that time, they could ask to have you removed. They could also not do that if they get a large payment and they're working on you with getting your rent paid. But let's say they pay your rent through January, now you owe February.
I have January and February's.
All right. Do you have a tax refund coming?
Yeah.
You said yes?
Yeah.
All right. All right, I will allow the writ of eviction to enter on 2/23/26. Hold until that time. Stay in contact.
Your Honor, could you have the clerks put a note on it to have Bruce call the Learns before he executes the writ on the 24th?
All right.
Thank you.
We had some people just a minute ago that said they were ineligible from Neighborhood Inc. Their rent was $850, yours is $750. Anyway, hopefully, Miss Rudisil, you can get this paid and stay there. You're ready to pay January and February. You have a tax refund. Maybe by March 1st, you can get on level ground. But I'm going to hold this for 10 days before I issue it. I'm going to ask the process server to contact the Learns before he executes the writ. Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Rudisil, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right,
Thank
stay
you.
in contact with Ms. McNary and with the Learns. You're good to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Middleton.
So, Mr. Fleeman, let's start with David Munoz. What's the circumstance here?
Sorry, Judge, I was listening to Weezer.
Okay.
Just
hip got you there. So
I have never heard that song before. I've got to go back and listen
to it. That's part of our shared moment of humanity. You can listen to that later, and then it'll be in your head.
And Judge, I appreciate that. We need more shared moments of humanity. That's absolutely right. Mr. Munoz, I'm looking at a balance $4,139 in rent, court cost of $199.45, total balance $4,338.45. If you have made a payment in the last day or so, I might not have that yet.
What was the total rent through Feb?
$4,139.
Mr. Munoz, what's your position here?
Yes, Your Honor. So since I moved in October of 2025, the manager that helped me move in, she graciously helped us moved in within 2 weeks of my last apartment because I've had a abusive, more like threatening last landlord, and I have 2 children under 2, so I had to move my family very quickly within a month period. And thankfully, that manager, her name was, I think, Carrie Hughes, from the last time I remember. She's not there anymore.
Well,
But
so you've never paid rent at all since you moved into this place?
I have for October when I moved in, but then I tried to communicate with the manager, Harry, and very attempts to communicate with her were unsuccessfully. And turns out that within the month of December and January, she either was promoted or she went to another different job. And I've been trying to contact, I think it took me since January to contact Mr. Devin Thomas on January 2nd.
Contact who?
Devin Thomas, the regional manager
All right.
for
Well, you
Ohio.
haven't paid November, December, January, or February's rent. And so they obviously want you to pay the rent or else move. They've got a waiting list of people that want to move in. So apparently you paid the first month's rent and never paid any more. Do you have a plan to try to catch up on the rent?
Yes, sir. I have been in contact with him and told him that my plan was to pay the full $4,000 and so with a tax refund that's coming. And since I've worked for tax preparation, I know when it's going to come exactly and just, the steps to take to pay the whole amount.
All right, well, we're going to adjourn this for 2 weeks. Mr. Fleeman, I'm gone next week. And we've got a court holiday in there, so we've lost some days.
And Judge, I was going to ask for 2 weeks anyways, because John's gone next week and I'm gone the week after that. But this was John's case originally, so he can he will be handling it. So what date are you putting this on?
Friday the 27th.
Yeah, let me double check, make sure I'm not completely triple booking him. The 27th. Yes, that'll work.
It's going to be a very busy day. Why don't we set this for 8:40 Friday, February 27th.
And Judge, I'd ask that you put Mr. Munoz and I into a breakout room at some point so I can get contact information, stay in contact with him, and can discuss the whole conditional dismissal concept.
All right, I'm going to ask him to stay with me. We'll do a couple of these others. February 27th, it's going to be a very busy day because we're missing 3 landlord-tenant dates. We're missing the 16th, the 20th, and 23rd.
Oh, because the 16th is President's Day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I see.
So we got a lot. So we'll set it for 8:40. Mr. Munoz, stay with me. Now, here's the deal. I'm adjourning this 2 weeks. Then on that day, the 27th, I would give you an additional 10 days to pay the rent or move out. So that's a total of 24 days. So hopefully your tax refund will be back by that time. Of course, 10 days from February 27th would include March's rent. So we'll discuss that further. Now, if you do get your refund and pay everything, you don't need to appear, but I want you to stay with me for a minute. When I finish with Mr. Fleeman, I'm going to put him in a breakout room. He can get your contact information and maybe you guys can resolve this without coming back to court. So don't go away yet.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Alexis Ayers is here. Elaine didn't bring me anything, but apparently there is a conditional order of dismissal in that case, and that matter has been resolved.
Your Honor, it has been resolved, but I think, and John handled this one. I think he had Miss Ayers come today because this is a first hearing. Under the court rule, some judges believe they can't do a conditional dismissal unless they've had the first hearing wherein they have advised the tenant of their legal rights. And so because Miss Ayers was very proactive and good for you, reached out to us before the hearing, we did send the conditional dismissal. We did get that back and filed it with the court. But I think it was still, we still wanted to make sure that she got to hear what her legal rights are.
Well, I just did advise her of the rights.
Right.
And what are the terms of the conditional dismissal?
The rent amount $3,955 through February, court cost of $199.45 for a total balance $4,154.45 to be paid on or before March 2nd, 2026. Miss Ayers, I'm presuming John told you that that number does not include your March rent, even though you get till March 2nd. So be prepared. I hate to see people jump out of the frying pan and back into the fire, right? So
Fine. I've been in communications with DHS and Community Action, and they're both going to help me. And then,
excellent.
as Mr. Munoz said, taxes, I plan on paying March's rent with that to make sure I'm completely squared away.
That's the idea.
You can put everybody in there.
Okay, all right.
All right, Miss Ayers, let me make a note here. Do you have any questions?
No, not really. The attorney for Stonehouse was very gracious and explained the process to me, and they were actually very helpful, even though they weren't my attorney.
We get that a lot.
They are very gracious. All right, Miss Ayers, best of luck to you. If we need to do anything further, we'll be here.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. I'm glad you were here.